Hi, this is Ignacio with North Star Senior Advisors. Thank you for joining me today for our weekly series, Facebook Live series, where we discuss various topics that are relevant to our industry, our seniors. We also go over resources and things like that. So thank you for joining me today. Um, if you have any questions as we move along through the video, please let us know. Also, feel free to post any questions or comments, and we'll get those addressed for you as well, either before or after the video. Um, Today's topic is why privacy matters with North Star Senior Advisors. And actually, this topic, we did a blog, and if you reference our website at www.northstarsa.com, go on our blog section, and you can see more specifics around this topic as well. Um, so today, again, bringing awareness to this very important topic of privacy. Our industry in senior placement as senior advisors, we represent the senior living communities. We work with the senior living communities, but more importantly, we really represent our seniors and families in this process, right? That's just very important to us to make sure that we do what is best for our client, which is our seniors and families. So we take the protection of their information very serious. There are laws that have been outlined to help protect consumers from violating the rights through well, the laws is the TCPA, and what that stands for is the Telephone Consumer Protection Act. This was actually established in 1991, and what it does is it restricts telemarketers, which we know we don't like telemarketers calling us. It's usually something that it's unsolicited. That's the key thing, right? So um, it protects the consumer from unsolicited uh, calls. So the law is very strict and very clear that if a company takes somebody's information and they share it, right, without authorization, that's when you get into trouble with this specific law. So there is a law in place to protect your privacy via telephone. Okay. Um, in our industry, in senior placement, they are what we call online lead generators. So these are the folks that you will find when you Google assisted living. And I'll give you a prime example, and this is public information, so I can share this, right? There is a company called A Place for Mom, and there's other similar companies online that was sued back in 1996 or 97. I'm sorry, 2016, 2017, and they settled for $6 million in 2019. And the claim was that they were violating the TCPA specifically with their process. So really quick, let me explain how online lead generators work when they get your information and how they get your information. So if you're looking for assisted living or memory care for your loved one, okay, and you go online and you pull up one of these companies that are what we call online lead generators, similar to A Place for Mom, in order for you to progress through your search online, they will ask for your information, name, email, phone number, etc. And you'll see that they'll have you accept their terms and conditions, right? This is the part that a lot of people don't really pay attention to. And when they check this box, okay, this is how you can now move forward in that process online, and they'll share that information with you online, okay? Here's the thing. When you accept their terms and conditions, please take the time to read what those terms and conditions outline. A lot of people don't do that. So within that verbiage, which is, if you do click on it, it's about a page or two of legal verbiage, right? Giving consent for them to share your information, basically. So that's exactly what happens. When you go online, you check off terms and conditions, you accept those, and you move forward in your search process with these companies online. They now have your information, okay? So here's what that means. You get off your online session, and you're going to start getting calls, okay? You're going to start getting calls from these companies, and also you're going to get calls from the communities that they've shared your information with. Uh, uh, and sure, so very important, okay, to know what you're doing when you're online and you're sharing your information with these folks. the biggest complaint that we get from families is that they feel that this is unsolicited. Again, they haven't really paid attention to checking out the terms and conditions. However, again, it's not something that they thought would happen. So then what happens is the calls start coming in. Uh, some of our clients have explained it as borderline harassment. So, pay attention to obviously where you're sharing your information with, okay? Um, Traditionally, what we have found for our clients is that this is a very emotional time, okay? This is something that it's typically unplanned, meaning a transition to assisted living memory care. So the last thing people need is that added unnecessary pressure, okay? So how are we different in North Star? How do we protect your privacy? So number one is that we don't share your information. When you're our client or senior we're working with, we're not going to share your information unless you give us the authorization to do so. So within your our search process working with you, we act like the middleman. So we have your information, we're in communication with you as a client, and we're sharing that information with the assisted living or memory care community. Once a selection is made and the family has made a sound decision, then if the family wants to share their information, they can, which most of the time they do at that point, because now they have to work through the logistics and the contracts and so forth, and that's okay at that point in time. But prior to that, it is completely the discretion of our client if they want their information shared. A lot of families really like this because excuse me, it really frees up the tension and pressure of having multiple communities calling them unsolicited, and or if they're not emotionally ready for those types of calls. So when we work with our community partners, our assisted living and memory care communities, they know this from North Star that we'll share with them the absolute basic information that is necessary for them to give us the availability, if they can accommodate from a clinical perspective, and then we coordinate now through virtual tours as well with the families. So at any given point, once that information is shared, once we get the authorization, we obviously do that. Let's see, I have a question here. We hear that people don't even know why they're getting bombarded with tons of phone calls. Assisted living facilities dislike calling people as well because they hear frustrated families asking them not to call. Okay, so that is another thing that we do here from our community partners, the assisted living communities, is that once they get the information from the online lead generators, right? They're calling the families and the seniors thinking that they've gotten the okay to get that call, and they find out they did not get the okay. So what'll happen is there'll be some mutual frustration, right? Frustration from the assisted living or memory care because they thought they had the okay, and they might have. Not saying that they never do, but we're finding that most of the time that's not necessarily the case. So there's mutual frustration going on. And the other question I have here is it better to work with somebody local or somebody out of state and or online lead generator? I'm going to say this, I would always recommend, whether it's North Star Senior Advisors or somebody similar, somebody boutique, somebody local, somebody that knows the community, somebody that understands the market, that has toured these communities, that has worked closely with these communities. Is important in your search process. And again, whoever it is that you work with, make sure that they're really protecting your information, your contact information. So that is one thing that as you're working with a senior living advisor, no matter who it is, make sure that you ask how your information is protected, because that's pretty important. We thought it was very important to bring this topic to light today and share with you kind of some common practices that are good standard and some that are not, and also bring awareness to the legalities behind it and some history that's public information related to this particular topic. So any questions we can help answer, we're here for you. We provide senior placement services here in Central Florida and to assisted living memory care. Feel free to check out our website, www.northstarsa.com. Give us a call if you have a question at 407-796-1582, and we'll be more than glad to assist you in the process. So want to thank everybody for their time today, and we'll chat next Wednesday, same time, 11:30, and we'll be discussing another key topic. So thank you for your time. Have a great day.